In this video we'll show how a UX component that contains panel cards inside a panel navigator can be configured so that if a panel card is dirty because a user has made an edit, that you can prevent navigation away from the panel card. So for example, you can see here we have a simple UX component with 3 panel cards inside a panel navigator, and on panel card 2 we have a form, and currently the user hasn't made any edits, so the form is not yet dirty. But as soon as I make a change to this form, let's go here and type in, say, Tom, and we have not yet hit the submit button, so that in other words this the UX component is dirty. We want to prevent the user from navigating away from this panel. So you can see now if I try to navigate away from the panel, basically a message comes up and focus goes back to the panel. So you can see, please save your changes before leaving this panel, and here's my alert telling me that I pressed the OK button. So this is user-defined code over here. Now if I go and I press the reset button to get rid of all my changes, now we're back to a clean UX component. In other words, there's no dirty fields, and I can now navigate back to the first panel. So let's go now and see how this was set up. So we can see that the panel navigator here has an event called the on before panel activate. So this is the event that fires before a new panel gets focus after an existing panel loses focus, or an attempt is made to navigate to a new panel. So what we're going to look here in the code here is we're going to look and see the UX component has a property called isDirty. There's also another property called isDataDirty, which you can use for data bound UX components, but since we didn't bind this component to any tables, the isDataDirty is not really defined. So we're just looking to see if any control in this UX component is dirty, and in this case the simplifying assumption that we're making is that the only controls that could be dirty are on the second panel card. So if the UX component is dirty, then we're going to put up a message box telling the user that they need to save their changes, and then we return false. So if the on before panel activate event returns false, then the user is prevented from navigating away from the panel, and if it returns true, then the user is allowed to navigate away from the panel. So what you could actually do over here is ask whether the user wants to save their changes or abandon their changes, and you'd add additional buttons into this message box. And then if they want to abandon the change, then you would just go here and say return true, which would allow them to move away from the panel, and then return false, which prevents them from moving away from the panel. So let's go take a look at this again. So go here, navigate away from the panel, no problem. Now make a change, and now try to navigate to panel card 3. Hit the release on my mouse, and you can see that focus goes straight back to panel card 2, which is the dirty panel. So adding validation to your panel navigators and panel layouts is easy using this new on before panel activate event. Thanks very much for watching.